Hello everyone! Today's video will showcase bankruptcy tips on Lexis Plus. My name is Thomas Smith and I am a practice area consultant with Lexis. I have been with Lexis for about 3 years, and prior to that I practiced as a bankruptcy attorney in Detroit, representing debtors, creditors, and trustees throughout the bankruptcy process. Today we will discuss 3 key Lexis tools and features that will be invaluable in bankruptcy practice: Lexis Plus, Practical Guidance for Bankruptcy, and the Bankruptcy Practice Center. So let's jump into Lexis Plus so we can get started. Bankruptcy cases are often referred to by the specific provision of the Bankruptcy Code under which they are brought, which can be found in Title 11 of the U.S. Code. To access the U.S. Code, we can just begin to type in United States Code Service, and we see that Lexis will begin to offer suggestions. We can click right here where it says USCS, United States Code Service, Titles 1 through 54. And then if we scroll down, we see Title 11 Bankruptcy right here. If we check that box, now anything we search will only search within the Bankruptcy Code. Or alternatively, we could select the plus symbol next to it to search through the table of contents. A Chapter 7 case is designed to erase all debt instantly and involves the liquidation of the debtor's property by the bankruptcy trustee. Some of the debtor's property may be protected and exempt from liquidation. A Chapter 11 case allows a financially distressed business to reorganize. And a Chapter 13 case establishes a debt repayment plan whereby an individual debtor repays a portion of the pre-bankruptcy debt to creditors over time, typically 3 to 5 years. You will be using the Bankruptcy Code often, so you may want to click this star up at the top to favorite the United States Code for quick access in the future. Let's now discuss a hypothetical. You get a call from one of the senior associates at your firm who says he needs you to prepare the documentation to file a proof of claim in a bankruptcy case. You panic as you don't know what a proof of claim is, let alone what to prepare. Lexis Plus provides an abundance of material to help you with your research needs. So for this task, you need to know what is a proof of claim. One great feature is that you can just ask, what is a proof of claim? Once I ask my question in the search bar, Lexis Plus Answers will provide me with an answer to my question at the top of my screen. These are excerpts from court opinions that answer our question. We see here in the second result that a creditor may file a proof of claim pursuant to 11 USCS 501. Remember, bankruptcy cases are governed by Title 11 of the United States Code. A proof of claim is a written statement setting forth a creditor's claim. A proof of claim shall conform substantially to the appropriate official form Federal Rules of Bankruptcy Procedure 3001 subsection A. So now we also know that there is a specific form that we need to use. From this page, we can change our category to Practical Guidance, because Practical Guidance is now integrated right into Lexis Plus. Practical Guidance is going to give us detailed guidance and information and analysis of various topics in bankruptcy. So if we scroll down, we see here that we have a relevant practice note called Proofs of Claim in Bankruptcy. So let's click in. And here we have a practice note on Proofs of Claim in Bankruptcy. Practice notes are authored by our internal content team of former practitioners and by partners and counsel who specialize in these specific areas. So we can see here that this has been authored by Stephen Wilimowski from Schiff Hardin. We see in the first sentence here that this practice note discusses proofs of claim filed in Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings. And we have all of these subsets here: proofs of claim overview, determining whether a claim should be filed, and drafting a proof of claim. So we've been tasked with drafting a proof of claim, and we can click on that to jump directly to that section. And we see here that the Bankruptcy Code does not detail what should go into a proof of claim. However, the bankruptcy rules contain the requirements for proofs of claim. Bankruptcy Rule 3001 provides that a proof of claim must set forth the creditor's claim, be written, be signed by the creditor or an authorized agent, and include supporting documentation on which the claim is based. We see this section also has a link directly to Bankruptcy Rule 3001 so that we can read it in its entirety. From here, we can also click open the table of contents on the left to see neighboring rules. Or we could click View Full Table of Contents to see the full federal rules of bankruptcy procedure. The Federal Rules of Bankruptcy Procedure are going to be found in the United States Code Service Federal Rules. You will be dealing with the Federal Rules of Bankruptcy Procedure often, so you may also want to go ahead and favorite this as well. So now from the Lexis Plus homepage, we can click on this star in the search bar to see that we have quick access to jump to the United States Code Service or the Federal Rules. So now let's go ahead and run a search for a proof of claim again. So let's change our content to practical guidance and search for proof of claim. And now in our search results, let's click on content type, and this time we will narrow this down to templates. If we scroll down a little bit, we see that our fourth result is for proof of claim, U.S. Bankruptcy Court Official Form 410. And in this template, we see that we have a hyperlink directly to the proof of claim form. And now we have a form that we can fill out right here. And as we do that, we can use all of this information that we found within the template to help us as we go along. Okay, so let's run another hypothetical. Your senior associate comes to you and says, "You did such a great job on that proof of claim, I am going to bring you on board to a project involving a creditors committee that we represent. You are going to come to a meeting next week, but first you need to get up to speed on creditors committees." There are a few ways to get up to speed. If we scroll down, we see the Explore Content pod on the Lexis Plus homepage. We can click on the Practice Area tab, and then select Bankruptcy Law to access the Bankruptcy Practice Center page. One of the best resources to take advantage of to get you up to speed in any topic is a treatise. If we scroll down, we can see secondary materials, and then we can view all bankruptcy law treatises, practice guides, and jurisprudences here. This is especially useful in bankruptcy law because Lexis has a Collier suite of products, which is the preeminent treatise on bankruptcy law. It will provide you with detailed guidance in a legal issue. We see here Collier on Bankruptcy 16th edition, which will provide an overview of all bankruptcy chapters. And a little bit above that, I see there is a Collier handbook specifically for creditors committees. So let's go ahead and click into Collier on Bankruptcy 16th edition first, just so we can see how that's laid out. We can see that this is laid out in a very easy to follow manner. If we wanted more information on a Chapter 7 proceeding, we could open up the Chapter 7 material by clicking this plus symbol. Or we can use the search bar at the top to search only within this treatise. I can choose to search all documents in this treatise, or the table of contents only. I will select Table of Contents Only and type in Committee to see what appears. The first result is Overview of the United States Trustee System, Establishment of Chapter 11 Committees and Appointment Members. So let's click in. We see here under Section 1102A1, the United States Trustee is generally responsible for establishing an unsecured creditors committee in Chapter 11 cases and has the discretion to establish additional committees where called for. This is helpful, but I likely want to take a look at the Collier Handbook for creditors committees to get more detailed information. So now instead of choosing Collier on Bankruptcy 16th edition, let's click into Collier Handbook for Creditors Committees. Now we can see that here each chapter is specific to a Chapter 11 Creditors Committee. The role of a Chapter 11 Creditors Committee, eligibility to serve on a Chapter 11 Creditors Committee, appointment of a Chapter 11 Creditors Committee. So I can start with Chapter 2, the role of a Chapter 11 Creditors Committee. Let's click into 2.01. And if we scroll through, we can see that right off the bat, it says the first questions usually asked by committee members not familiar with Chapter 11 cases or proceedings thereunder are, why am I here? What is expected of me? And what role will this Chapter 11 committee be expected to play in this Chapter 11 case? This is a great place to get answers, so you can dig through and really get yourself up to speed. Another way to get up to speed on creditors committees is through practical guidance, which we can access over here on the left. This time, instead of running a search, we are going to scroll down into practice areas and click into the bankruptcy page. From here, I can run a search which will now be filtered down to bankruptcy materials, or I can look through the topics and tasks laid out for me. And one of the options is committees, which is exactly what we need. Here we have 8 practice notes laid out for us dealing with committees. And as we scroll through, we can see that number 4 is Creditors Committee's Roles in Bankruptcy, which sounds extremely relevant, so let's click in. As we read through, we see that this practice note addresses Creditors Committee's roles in Chapter 11 as well as Chapter 7 and 9 of the Bankruptcy Code. The Creditors Committee is the official committee of general unsecured creditors organized pursuant to Section 705, Section 901, and Section 1102 as applicable of the Bankruptcy Code. And as before, the top of the page links to different relevant sections throughout the practice note. So I can click on Creditors Committees in Chapter 7 Liquidations if I want more information on that subtopic. Over on the right-hand side, our editors have laid out related content so that you have the option to review additional material to get even more up to speed. We are now back in the Practical Guidance Bankruptcy page to talk about one more bankruptcy resource you can take advantage of. We've gone over running a search, and we've discussed using the topics and tasks, but let's now talk about another feature on this page. The right-hand side shows selected resource kits available to a bankruptcy practitioner. Or I can click View All if I want to see all of them. The first option that we see here is a Bankruptcy Practice Fundamentals Resource Kit. Many law firms are growing their bankruptcy practices and repurposing associates who were not focused on bankruptcy to now practice bankruptcy law. This resource kit is extremely helpful to those attorneys who are fairly new to bankruptcy and need to understand the fundamentals. Resource kits take all of the content that we have on a given topic and put them in one place where it is organized for you. So this resource kit provides an overview of important topics for attorneys practicing bankruptcy law. If we scroll down, we see the first section is on Chapter 11, Commencing a Case. Then we have a section on Consumer Bankruptcy. And within each of these topics, there is a list of relevant material. Here, for example, you could see a practice note on Chapter 7, Liquidation, or on the co-debtor stay, or you could view a checklist that walks through the Chapter 13 timeline. So this is a nice resource to get the fundamentals of bankruptcy practice, and generally speaking, to get all of the content on a variety of topics in one place. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found this helpful. If you would like any further training or assistance, please reach out to your Lexis representative to schedule a training session. Or you can contact our customer service support department 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 1-800-45-LEXIS. And don't forget to check out the other videos on the LexisNexis Law School YouTube channel. Thank you.